Hi there, good afternoon. Welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is a lovely, warm, windy day here in Jeddah, the second largest city of Saudi Arabia after Riyadh, the capital city. I thought that I would start this video tour right here. Look at these doors, families, single. This is a restaurant, I presume. I haven't been inside of it, but this is not something that you see everywhere you go, and I figured that this kind of captures the concept that Saudi Arabia is different. I guess there are different rooms for families and singles. I'm not sure if singles means only single men or probably not single women mixing with single men, I would presume. If you are a married couple, do you go in the families or the single? If you are two women together, do you go in the families room or the single? I don't know. I am just barely starting to learn a little bit about this country. This is very typical for cities in this part of the world in general, is these wide streets, modern buildings, almost nobody walking around. Most people have their own cars. Saudi Arabia transformed when oil was discovered. It turned into a ultra-modern, developed country. I'm just going to walk along here really quick and just show these restaurants just so you can see. Hello, sir. How are you? Good, good. Hello, sir. How's it going? Good. Excellent. 2 thumbs up in a row. That's a good sign. So Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins, Shawarmatic. I had a shawarma here last night. I was here walking around in the evening. I went to the supermarket up there, which I will walk by in a second. Here's something that looks kind of like Burger King, but it is Jan Burger. Another shawarma place, Al Saj Al Rifi, looks like maybe chicken restaurant, and then KFC. And so, point being that there are Western chain restaurants here in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to do my best to try to capture this city and this country within the limited framework of, first of all, I am only here for a few days. I arrived coming from the Maldives the night before last. I had 5 nights reserved at my hotel there, and so I have only 3 full days left, today, tomorrow, and the next day. The reason is because I had a trip in England already planned, arriving there in 4 days, meeting up with somebody, and then we are going on a road trip around England. I had planned this last month, and so all of my travels since then have been, programmed around that. That is one of the reasons why I left India a little bit early rather than exploring the Himalayas more, is because I had to make a choice whether to basically spend the last of my time before heading back, west to Europe in India, which would have been, of course, amazing as well, getting more into the Himalayas and everything. But I decided instead to show you guys some different countries, and so I planned to go to the Maldives and then to Saudi Arabia here, just get a little taste of it for a few days. So here we have the Dawood supermarket. It is massive. I just got a few snacks there yesterday evening, but as you can see, Saudi Arabia is very developed, which of course has its positives and negatives. When it comes to making travel videos, it's not going to be as interesting. Where are the people? There's almost nobody walking around. They are very friendly. Saudi Arabia is a very safe country with a very welcoming attitude towards foreigners, as long as you follow the rules and are respectful of the culture and the norms. So one of the rules, which I ran into in Bahrain as well, is filming people without their permission is not allowed, especially women. So I've already, broken that rule. Again, as in Bahrain, to the best of my understanding, then that isn't a jail sentence just for filming somebody in the course of trying to make a video like this. From what I've heard, then the police are very, very kind and as long as you're not intentionally doing anything wrong, then it shouldn't be a big deal. But if I get reprimanded by the police for filming, that might just be the end of my filming in Saudi Arabia, because I don't want to take too many chances here. So we'll just see what happens. I'm planning to go to the old town and the souk, which will be a very different sight from here. It is the original town of Jeddah, and with like a classic old fort wall, something like that. And so it should be a bit more interesting, more small lanes and the older architecture. So Jeddah is on the Red Sea, and here it is. Another thing is crossing the streets, because very often it is not very clear. Hello, sir. Thank you, man. This one at least does have stoplights, but I'm not sure if they're actually working. Elsewhere, there aren't stoplights at all, and so you basically just have to go for it and hope that you're not breaking the law. And so there are apparently very nice beaches in Jeddah, but I was doing some research in my room there, and they are not right here. They're all 30 minutes, 45 minutes away, north and south, along the coast here. This is called the Corniche, and it goes for 30 kilometers, going in both directions here. Last night it was a little more happening. I walked here and decided to walk that way and just walked a long ways up there. It wasn't busy, but there were people along here. Now, it's about 12:30 or so in the afternoon. It isn't that hot, but it is certainly the norm for people to not be out and about in the middle of the afternoon heat. So we'll just see what we find. I'm going to head in the direction of the old town. I might have to take a taxi, or I think that Uber works. I will give it a try. But for now, I will just walk along the Corniche here and talk a little bit more about Saudi Arabia. So one little observation that I've noticed in my past day of being here is there are lots of stray cats. Here's one right here, but there are many of them all over. You can see some of the tall buildings sticking up there. The tallest building in the world will possibly be here in Jeddah. If the project is eventually completed, it is on hold. It will be the first building that is more than 1 kilometer tall. It was supposed to be completed in 2018, but it was put on hold for issues of the contract and workers, something like that, and has stopped. So whenever that happens, I'm sure that will be a big draw, tourist promotion for Jeddah here. So Jeddah is very close to Mecca, about an hour's drive away. Now, in order to understand the significance of Mecca, then you have to understand Islam, the Muslim religion in general, and Muhammad. Saudi Arabia is, of course, majority Muslim nation and the birthplace of Muhammad and the Islamic religion. So the Prophet Muhammad was born in 570 AD, died in 632, and he lived in Mecca. He was an orphan. His father died a few months before he was born. His mother died when he was 6 years old. So one thing you definitely don't want to do is point your camera at police, government, security guards, etc., as in whatever this is. There was a security guard back there. And so Muhammad is the prophet of the Islamic religion. He grew up and lived in Mecca. When he was 40 years old, he had a vision from, apparently, the angel Gabriel visited him in a cave where he was meditating or praying, something like that. And so he had this epiphany, revelation, realization, and this led to his spiritual awakening and ultimately teaching and writing the Quran, the holy book of Islam. And then, due to various conflicts taking place in Mecca, then he ended up leaving Mecca with his followers and went to Medina, a nearby city. It's actually a few hours away, and settled there, and then eventually moved back to Mecca. And so Mecca and Medina are holy cities of Islam in which non-Muslims are not allowed to go there. But foreigners are allowed, Muslim foreigners. One of the pillars of the Islamic religion is to visit Mecca at least once in your life. So when I flew from the Maldives, then sitting all around me on the plane were people who did not look Saudi Arabian. They looked more Asian, and their style of dress and everything was very similar. They seemed to be a group. When we landed, then there were some short women who asked me to help them with their bags, getting their bags down from the overhead bin. And so I helped them out, and then asked the guy that was actually sitting next to me if they were all part of a group. And he said yes, and I asked them where they were from. And they were from Indonesia. Indonesia is actually the largest Muslim country by population, other than Bali. Of course, Bali is Hindu. But they were obviously here for the Hajj to Mecca, to visit Mecca, perhaps for the only time in their lives. And so Jeddah here is where many Muslim pilgrims will fly into and then drive the hour or so out to Mecca. So it is an important city for various reasons. It is also a very important port city and a good place to fly into to then explore elsewhere, rent a car, go on a road trip, get out into the desert, see some of the smaller towns. I'm going to try my best to make that happen, whether it is on a tour or renting a car. Okay, so let's just keep heading this general direction. I'm just going to show what I see along the way and ultimately get to the old souk, where hopefully things will get a little more interesting. Do you speak English?
Yemen.
You're from Yemen? I see, okay. Nice to meet you.
You are?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, no, thank you. Shukran, no. Thank you very much. So, I don't know what the deal was. Probably he was just being nice and seeing a foreigner, thought that he would stop and ask me if I wanted to ride somewhere. But for one thing, he didn't speak any English, it seemed. And so I wasn't about to get in that car with no idea what the heck was going on. where he was going to end up taking me or whatever. Besides, enjoying the walk. Looks like a mosque here. And so Muslims pray 5 times a day. I'm sure that we will hear the azan, the call to prayer, in the course of this day of exploring. So the road continues around that point there. I'm going to leave the coast there and get into the interior of the city, which is where the souk is. Not sure exactly how much further away it is. I might need to catch a ride somehow. So the language of Saudi Arabia is, of course, Arabic, but notice how much English is on the signs of these various stores here. I can see Pizza Hut. Next to it, Brost Dar Al Diyafa, but it is written in English, Latin letters, and then Arabic above it. Dunkin' Donuts, Something Grill Restaurant, written in English, and then Krispy Kreme Donuts and Coffee, Cashew and Almonds, Diet Center, the shop, Nutrition and Diet Center, Luluwa Mini Market, Men's Barbershop. So lots of English, and English is very commonly spoken by many of the people here in Saudi Arabia. Basically, all that I know in Arabic is the greeting, Salam Alaikum, and the response, I think, is Walaikum Salam, and thank you is Shukran. So the souk is 6 kilometers away, 4 miles, so I'm going to try to find a ride somehow. It's a bit faint, but I can hear the call to prayer. Another mosque there. We've got a taxi up ahead. Let's give this a try. Salam. Possible old souk? Oh, waiting for somebody. Thank you. Okay. He's waiting for somebody else who's doing something in there, whatever that building is for. But it's getting just a little bit busier around here, especially up ahead, a sort of busy street. So let's see if there's another taxi around. I can still check Uber. Just thought that I would wait and see if I find a taxi. But otherwise, give Uber a try. Okay, at a major street here. There, the street sign in Arabic and English. Al-Hamra, Al-Andalus. But not a lot of taxis around. Looks like here's one. Let's see what happens. Oh, somebody in the back. So when I was in Italy, I discovered something surprising and, to me, kind of shocking, which is that you can't hail a taxi. I don't know if it's against the law or just people don't normally do it, but if a taxi is going by, even if they don't have anybody in it, apparently you just can't flag it down. You have to call the taxi company. So I don't know if that could be the case here as well. Also, I thought that the thumbs up was like an insult in Saudi Arabia. I'd heard that before, but for one thing, those two guys gave me a thumbs up early in the video there. I don't think that they were like trying to insult me. And I'd read elsewhere that that wasn't actually an insult. So I guess the thumbs up is a-okay. Another taxi up there, but it is picking somebody up. All right, one more taxi. And then I'll try Uber. I already looked and it is possible, but the closest car is 10 minutes away. This might work. Salam. Souk al-Alawi. Old souk. Old souk. Old souk. Al-Alawi. Al-Alawi. Yeah, down here, Al-Alawi souk. I can show you Google Maps, Google